Absolutely. Well, look, you just alluded to something, and in 2017, you're going through a bit of a tough time, and it must have been around 2017, 2018 that we first engaged. So full disclosure, and Davinia's sort of mentioned that this already is that. So we started working together. So you came to work with me, and I was your coach, and there was some stuff that we were working through. But for the people that are listening to this, what I suppose I would love for you to share is what is it that we did that was most helpful for you, and what were some of the tools or the things that we did together that meant that you got the results that you did, that people that are listening to this could go, oh wow, that's helpful, I can take that and look at applying that into what's helpful for them in a challenge they may be going through right now.
Well, we started working initially, as you remember, as you just said, because around that time I was struggling my mindset. I was struggling with, you know what? You know when you're going through a breakup, or maybe not everyone does, but if you go through a breakup, you can fall into this victim mindset, right?
Yeah.
And whatever the reason of what the breakup is, you can sometimes just go into this like, woe is me. And there's nothing wrong with that for a bit, but it can go on for a bit. And it's really disempowering. So yeah, I was struggling with the mindset. It's not fair. I just felt really annoyed about the whole thing. But you were so good at helping me to turn that mindset around and come out of this sort of, like this victim mindset really, because at the end of the day, who cares whose fault it was or any of that stuff. We just got to move forward and get the best possible outcome and, turn things around so that we can enjoy our lives and live life happily, right? And you were really good at helping me, look at the bigger picture, look at what are the most important things to me and focusing on those as opposed to sometimes getting swept up with the it's not fair because it's so easy to. And actually, I have a big gratitude to you because actually from that, I work with quite a few women who are going through divorces now because in my coaching, right? Because I've been through it, I get it, I've been there. And, I can see myself and them, and I like helping them turn it around without going down that route because, thank you. Big thank you to you.
No, well, look, you're welcome. And essentially what we did for people that are listening to this is we helped you create perspective because we all have situations, myself included, right? I can still get stuck into these things. I'm not perfect in that in the moment where the things are hard, it can feel life's happening to us, not for us. And there's a few fundamental beliefs that we can have. One is life's happening for us, not to us, right? So where's this beneficial, even no matter how painful it feels in the moment? Everything is on the way, not in the way, right? So we're just working through it. And it's just a couple of really empowering beliefs to be able to have. And what we specifically went in and did is created a new perspective for you around how this situation was actually more beneficial for the things that you cared for most about in your life, which we don't need to go into the details of exactly what that was. But what it did is that instantly in that moment, I remember seeing the whites of your eyes just light up because you went from this disempowered state to this empowered state. And what it led you to be able to do was to make some decisions that had been sort of grinding on you in quite a big way, and you felt free all of a sudden. And whilst the context of the situation, the actual situation hadn't changed, the way you thought about the situation changed, which then in itself made it easier and lighter for you to be able to move forward. And every single person has the ability to do in the situation, no matter how hard or difficult it may seem. It's just most people don't have the ability to they don't know the questions to ask to give them the perspective that then becomes empowering for them.
Totally.
So that was and yeah, it was always a pleasure working with you, and I love seeing you continue to grow and continue to thrive. And you absolutely have such a phenomenal impact on so many people, Davinia, and that's really the ripple effect at play. I talk a lot about the ripple effects of when you achieve your full potential, not only does it benefit you, it benefits your family, your friends, your community, society, humanity, the universe. And I'm pleased to hear that you've been able to share that wisdom with other clients of yours going through those challenges. So absolute kudos to you. So let's talk about something else. So we talk about the evolution of Davinia and you absolutely embodying the the personal development principles that enable you to thrive. So the stuff that you were doing 25 years ago that you're still doing now, the stuff that you've added in, things like juicing and things like protein. But I know in more recent years, there's another area of personal development, which we could say is new, but whilst it's new for you, actually is thousands of years old,
Ancient.
which is Bazi Chinese astrology.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is something that so Bazi, so for those of you who don't know what Bazi Chinese astrology is, because a lot of people don't, right? It's basically Chinese metaphysics. So it's, and we see like 4 pillars of destiny, they often call it. And what it is that we look into the unique set of characteristics that are surrounding the date and the time of birth, so that you can then delve into them, interpret them, and you can tell people about their personality, how people might perceive them, their personality in their work, because often people have different personalities, right? Their personality underneath. You can see in these 8 boxes how people get on with family members, friends, relationships, what's good in their career. You can see potentially clash years, so which means, they're going to be maybe tricky years, money months, when the career is going to excel, health susceptibilities, all those sorts of things. So Bazi Chinese astrology is something that I'm really passionate about, and something that I've been talking about a lot more with my clients. And I've been, doing some consultations around this with clients, because wow, it's really empowering and amazing when you can see this chart in front of you. And when you suddenly, sometimes, I mean, in my family, right, we have quite a lot of turbulence, right? And I always just wondered, why was that? But you see, by looking at my chart, I can see there's a big clash in my chart, and that actually is to do with me and family members. So that makes me go, oh, okay, I get it. And having that awareness around that's helped me to then have sort of understanding and go, okay, it's just part of my chart, and I just need to be a bit more aware and be nicer to those family members. In my chart, or in a chart, you can look at health susceptibilities. And for many years, I used to think, oh, it's not fair, because I have a health susceptibility, pelvic really area, that comes up time and time again. I'm like, oh, not again. But you see, by looking at my chart, I can see it on there, and I go, okay, I get it. It's just one of my health susceptibilities, and I've become more aware of it. And I can now, it's helped me to sort of understand it, accept it, and then work on how to improve it and to understand it more. Does that make sense? So for me, I
Yeah.
found that by knowing my Bazi Chinese astrology, it's really helped me. In my chart, I was always going to have a 2-husband chart. Right, I'm now remarried, by the way, guys. So I got divorced a few years ago, and I'm now remarried. Right, so actually, it was something in my chart anyway. So hurrah! In my chart, I've got a one child chart. So it's quite nice seeing those sort of things. And for me, in 2000, about 2018, I came across this amazing lady, Denise, and I wanted to do some feng shui actually in my house. And then she sort of started to talk about my Chinese astrology, and I was like, wow, this is amazing, because she could see stuff because I told her my date of birth, and she could see some stuff that been going on in my life, and it was so true. I was like, my God, this is really good. And it just made me then think, wow, I want to understand this, I want to learn this. And I'm one of those people that then buys all the books around it and then starts looking into it. And then of course but I then start studying it a bit more, and she's been my teacher and my mentor, and I've become really good at it, and I love it. And I love looking. So every day in my family we laugh, but every day my husband and my daughter will go, okay, mummy, what's today going to be like? And it gives us an understanding, right? But it's really useful. And you can look at the year ahead, and you can go, right, okay, have I got any challenges? Or do I need to be careful around my health this year? And I find that, I don't know how people live, actually, honestly, serious note. I don't know how people live without not having this information at hand, because it's like, you've got just a bit of understanding of what could happen. And here's the thing, we say 30% is your Bazi, right? So your Chinese astrology. So you've got the map, and you're driving along, you've got it in front of you. 30% is your Feng Shui, right? So that's like, so if you've got your Bazi astrology chart, you know what's going on in front of you. The other 30% is your environment around you, right? So the people around you, they affect you, or the environment in your house, the energy. So that's another part of your life. And then 40% is free will. So you might know what's going to happen in your chart. You don't like the idea of that. Maybe you don't want a 2-husband chart, right? So you then go, right, okay, well, I better be nice to my husband, for instance. So it helps you to understand, what's going on in your life. And if you know, say, your chart and your health susceptibilities, you can then go, right, okay, actually, I need to be really careful of my health this year, which means I need to take a step back and, really nurture myself, which, it's just useful. That's my passion, another passion.
Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, hit like, hit subscribe, and please also leave a comment about what it is that you like. I'm going to be picking one of the comments and sending you a free copy of my book, North Star Thinking, Master Your Mindset and Live the Life You Love. So make sure you get that comment in.